News updates. Nnamdi Kanu still in custody because of FG's bias, Kalu says. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to this channel. But please do well to subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button and also the bell for more updates. Now to the news details. Please listen to the end. Chief Emeka Charles Kalu, a People's Democratic Party (PDP) chieftain, is the National Coordinator, People's Democratic Party Coalition (PDP Coalition), and Director General, Global Initiatives for Good Governance (GIGG). He spoke to Ejikeme Omenazu on some salient issues in the polity, except Nigerian workers on Monday, May 1, 2023, joined their counterparts all over the world to celebrate May Day. How do you see the condition of the Nigerian workers? Without being told, it is crystal clear that Nigerian workers need greater and improved ends of attention from the government of the day. This undoubtedly confirms the fact that they work under uncared for conditions, suffer poor conditions of services, inadequate salary, and other incentives capable of bettering their lives and their family members. The major challenges Nigeria workers encounter are poor monthly wages, lack of effective training to enhance performance efficiency, and a host of other drawbacks. This calls for the government to improve on workers' salary structures as obtainable in the US, Canada, and France. We have a case of delayed payment of wages as encountered at the inception of this current government in Kogi State that made a helpless man die of frustration. This level of negligence on the part of the government always harms efficiency, productivity, and smooth operations in public sector administration. Today, the APC-led federal government under Buhari's watch promised to increase workers' salaries to 40% of their original pay standard. If this can be implemented and actualized, it will add brighter color to the conditions of Nigeria workers. How do you see the recent celebration of May Day in Imo State and the public endorsement of Governor Hope Uzodinma on May Day for second term? He said, "I am not personally against Senator Hope Uzodinma as a person. He has been a good colleague of mine. But one thing I keep speaking up to condemn in his government is the level of high-handedness, crisis, violence, and killings his government instigated in Imo State. It does not owe workers' salary, but Imo State under his watch had passed through pockets of violent killings. And I think that is where his challenge lies. It all boils down on the good people of Imo to consider and sincerely forgive him, knowing fully well that Nigeria political system is being controlled by and hijacked under the cover of darkness, which may be beyond the governor's control. The people of Imo State are in a better position to decide whether Hope will be massively voted during the November 11 gubernatorial election or not. What transpired in 2023 general elections were an eye-opener to Nigerians, a situation where your previous performance determines your success in the next political contest. It is no longer business as usual where electoral processes were being hijacked and tailored in favor of a given candidate. Those people have their PVCs and at the poll that will use them to tell the world whom they want to govern them. So, the fate of Hope Uzodinma and other contestants in the forthcoming Imo State governorship election relies on the general acceptance of the people during the election. And also, it was asked that Owaneze Ndubo recently expressed anger over the failure of President Muhammadu Buhari to release the IPOB leader. How do you see this development? The refusal of Mr. President to have released Nnamdi Kanu is just what I term bias on the part of those who think it is not good to comply with the order of a court. Out of the 14-count charges the federal government slammed him, 8 had been previously voided and quashed by Justice Nyako, and a bail was granted to him on health grounds. Suddenly, his house was accosted by Nigerian soldiers in Afara Uku, Ibeku, Umuahia, that led to his fleeing for safety. He was later illegally renditioned from Kenya against the international standard of practice in arresting a political prisoner. In the midst of entire struggle, the appeal court finally nullified the remaining charges and discharged him. But the government in power failed to comply with the court order. This is indeed very unfair, as the Nigerian government has chosen to flout the judiciary decisions. If Kanu had been found guilty of any of the alleged offenses, of course, he should be penalized, but he was exonerated of all the charges. His continued stay in the DSS solitary confinement is a replica of man's inhumanity to man. I'm an hardcore defender of Nigeria unity, but what I contend with is the idea of continuously keeping Kanu in the dungeon when the court has ordered for his unconditional release. So from zero to infinity, Nigeria in general, not only students, have immensely suffered in the hands of Boko Harams, herdsmen, and other ethnic gun-wielding military groups. So, for Nnamdi Kanu, the federal government is just punishing him. That is why he is still in the custody, and the federal government is biased. Thank you for tuning into the end.